Have you ever found yourself saying, we've just always done it that way? That's what this session is all about. Many times, as business owners, we can be stuck in our old mindsets. We can easily say, when someone challenges the status quo, well, we've always done it this way. It is time in 2022, before we go into a brand new year, to really think about how we challenge the assumptions that we make so often throughout our day. Did you know that old mindsets can cost us? It can cost us to lose revenue. It can cost us to learn new systems. It can cost us to be able to automate our businesses and build more efficiency in our businesses. It can also allow us to lose team members. So if you're that owner or leader that's constantly saying, hey, well, we've just always done it that way, it's now time to think about challenging those assumptions and ask questions and remain curious. Our world is changing ever so quickly. So it is important for us to be fast adapters to that change, especially as business owners. I remember years ago, as a team, we read a book called Who Moved My Cheese? It is a book by Spencer Johnson. It's a great book. It's kind of like one of the iconic business books that you read. And there's these two characters, these fictional characters, that are just caught up in the fact that someone has moved their cheese. One character is able to adapt fast. The other character, not so much. And so in that book, it's a reflection of your own leadership. Are you able to adapt to change? I want to give a real-time example of how this plays out in a real decision that a business owner made. So a business owner was having a conversation with a potential client, and that client was listening to this sales pitch. Now, the business owner had made an assumption that the person on the other end of the phone, the prospective client, couldn't possibly afford the services of the company. When that owner did that, in the mind became this scarcity mindset that this person just wouldn't be able to afford the services. And when that happened, there was a shift. No one could see the shift. The prospective client on the other end of the phone could not hear the shift in the voice. But the scarcity mindset, this assumption that was made, became an intruder in that owner's mind. But in spite of all that, the business owner continues with the conversation, even though there was this mental shift that said, this person's not going to be able to afford my services, closes the sales pitch and just waits for the rejection. Well, unbeknownst to this owner, the person on the other end of that phone, the prospective client, the one that was assumed that could not afford the services, said, where do I sign? And was ready to get the invoice and seal the deal. It is important. That's just one example of how many different times throughout the day we can make an assumption. We can make an assumption about the employee engagement on our team. We can think that our team is having these tense dynamics because of themselves. But could it be you as a leader not being willing to listen? We can make assumptions about our consumer behaviors. In 2022, one thing that we have learned is consumer behaviors have changed completely. And so when you're sitting back and wondering, gosh, it's just easier to just do it as we've always done it because change is happening so quickly, I want you to slow down and really challenge that assumption. As I was reading this book, there are a few things that it talks about in regards to change, and excuse me for all of the ruffling papers, but here's the handwriting on the wall, as it says, of Dr. Spencer Johnson in the book, Who Moved My Cheese? You got to admit that change happens. It's a part of life. The only constant that we have is change. Things will keep moving, and you as an owner have to remain open, agile, and nimble to those changes. Anticipate change. Get ready for the cheese to move. That's what it is. You're hearing a lot of talk now about recession-proofing your business because people know that the cheese is moving, whether you're in real estate or whether you're in digital marketing. The cheese is moving. The other thing is monitor that change. It is so important that you are sensitive to the slight fluctuations in your business, because the sooner that you're able to see the change, the easier it is for you to respond to the change. So some of you might be looking at your numbers, maybe you're reconciling bank statements, maybe once a month, maybe once a quarter, but try to get into a more frequent rhythm of looking at your metrics. As you're spending dollars, are you getting a return on investment? Are you moving towards your sales goals? Is there a different category of your business that is uptrending that you need to maximize that opportunity? Or is there maybe a core part of your business that is starting to be on the decline and you need to shift some of that funding to another category that is working? All right. So you got to monitor your change. The other thing is adapt to change quickly. The quicker you let go of your old cheese, the sooner you can enjoy your new cheese. Sometimes we hold things so tight. It's the way we've always done it. But it is time to release it to be able to welcome in the new way of thinking and moving about in this new marketplace that we're in. Change, move with the cheese. Enjoy the change. Just because change is here doesn't mean it has to be this daunting process. Definitely enjoy the change. So, from a people perspective, I want you to think about just the different competencies that you have within your business that you are looking and you maybe put on a scorecard or performance review. Are those still relevant in the day and age of the business that you are in? Are you flexible to having a hybrid work model where some are able to work on site and then some are able to work remotely? There's so many ways to challenge the assumptions that you make about your business. I hope that as you start planning 2023, you think about this conversation and be willing to challenge your assumptions. Have a good day or evening.